pandemic, stopping payments on student loan debt, activists and progressives have called on President Biden to just cancel it. Just cancel it already. That's the best thing that you could do right now, especially since Joe Biden said, well, it's one of my priorities. One of my policy priorities is to cancel student loan debt. Now, of course, he was going to cancel like 50,000, then it went into 10,000, and now it's essentially nothing. So now he says, look, I'm sorry, I don't have the authority to do that. I can't do this on my own, meaning I'm going to have to push this or punt this to Congress. And of course, we know that Congress is essentially where everything goes to die, especially the Senate. So he just kind of got rid of it. Now, the thing is, he does have the authority. I've been telling you from day one, that Joe Biden absolutely has the authority. He has constitutional authority to take executive action to cancel all student loan debt. He could do that. He could do any amount. He could do 50,000, he could do 10,000, he could do 100,000, he could do all of it. All of it, all of it, all of it, all of it. But he won't. And so one of the things that they were doing in order to try to placate progressives and activists is say, well, you know what? Okay, you kind of caught us. We might have the authority, but we're just going to have to check into it. That's what it is. So why don't we write this memo here, to do that? Hey, Education Secretary Miguel Cardona, give us a memo. Prepare a memo and tell us if the president has legal authority. Okay, well, now that was on April 1st when they had told, and this is Ron Klain, this is White House Chief of Staff Ron Klain, who told Cardona to do that memo. So it's been a while. Where is it? Where's the memo? Where's the memo? So they didn't release the memo. I guess they kind of forgot about it. Oh, look at that. We forgot. Oh, gee, golly gee, memo. Where is it? Well, you know what? Some people decided to push the issue. Ilhan Omar and House lawmakers called on the president early in October and Cardona to release the memo. They set a deadline of October 22nd. A week later, 2 documents, including the memo, were released after the activist group Debt Collective's Thomas Goki obtained them via a Freedom of Information Act request. They had to FOIA this. So they said, oh, we're going to do the memo. Oh, don't worry, we're going to release it. Oh, don't worry. And then they didn't, and they didn't. And finally, somebody had to FOIA it. And even the FOIA version had massive redactions. They were redacted in pink. Oh, lovely. And did not have any details on the Department of Education's determination of whether or not the president had legal authority. Gee, I wonder why. I wonder why they would do that. Now, as I said, the memo is redacted, so it doesn't really say anything. And yet, experts believe that the existence of this redacted memo proves that the president does have authority to forgive all student loan debt, but has no political will. Well, of course, that's what we've been saying for a long time. Progressives, we've all been saying the president has authority, but he doesn't want to. Nothing will fundamentally change. This is what Joe Biden told his donors. Okay? Now, Mike Pierce, executive director and co-founder of Student Borrower Protection Center, talked to Yahoo Finance about this. And here's what he said. Quote, this offers new evidence that every single lawyer who has looked at this issue, now including the lawyers at the Department of Education, reached the same conclusion. Joe Biden can cancel student debt with the flick of a pen, but refuses to do so. And that's why, of course, the entire thing is redacted. That's it. We've solved the mystery of why you can't see anything in it, because they don't want you to know. They don't want you to know that we refuse to do this incredibly important policy that would affect 16 million borrowers. There's more. Natalia Abrams, president and founder of the Student Debt Crisis Center, told Yahoo Finance as well, the Biden administration's memo on student debt cancellation is just a reminder the president has not delivered on his promises to student loan borrowers. Yeah, but you understand, like, he had to deliver to the donors. And he has delivered to the donors. But the timing and release of the memo is actually far more interesting to me than what's actually in it. Because again, it really lets you know the priority here and what they had to get it. Now, there was one part of the memo that wasn't redacted. Oh, you can actually read it. Now, that actually refers to the authority Cardona has that allows him to extend the interest-free payment pause on federal and federally held student loans. Now, as we all know, payment on those loans is going to be resumed on January 31st, 2022. Okay, very soon, very soon. Now, that would be a bad idea to resume those payments. For one, it's a disaster. We're dealing with inflation right now. We're dealing with also massive, profits for corporations while workers continue to struggle following a pandemic that is still here. Still here. Now, it also appears the department had produced a memo titled The Secretary's Legal Authority for Broad-Based Debt Cancellation on April 5th, just days after Klain had mentioned its existence, 4 days after. So they have it, and they sat on it. They didn't do anything with it, nothing. Now, if you were fair, you could say, well, okay, look, they've been really, really focused on infrastructure. And, okay. Now, that human infrastructure bill, which was supposed to offer 2 years of free community college, was immediately abandoned. Gone. That's out. Free college, completely out. As is almost all progressive priorities. And Democrats, as a result, just got crushed in Virginia elections. They might want to get to this memo and maybe do something for the voters. Or guess what? It's going to be a bloodbath in the midterms. Now, will they? Well, that's the question, right? No. I have the answer for it already. Of course they're not going to do it. I'd be very, very surprised. Now, what the Democrats are going to do is they're going to go more right-wing in order to get, and this actually comes from them, from what I've heard, they want to attract more suburban white voters. So basically Republicans, by running Republican light instead of actually serving the base, who is suffering under over $1.7 trillion in student loan debt. There is more debt being borne by students today than what Manchin is willing to spend on human infrastructure, which, by the way, had a lot of pay-fors that were already built into it. It wasn't like the Trump tax cuts, which did not have any pay-fors. This bill did, before all of them were stripped out in order to appease the corporate donors. Because corporations and billionaires didn't want their taxes raised 1 cent. Not one goddamn penny. Not at all. I mean, and again, all of this debt is not going to disappear. We need to cancel it now. It needs to be canceled. And by the way, right now, 16 million borrowers are going to see their, servicers change. Why? Because a bunch of them dropped out. Navient, for example, gone. So now people are being switched over. It's going to get incredibly confusing very, very fast. It's going to be an absolute disaster for borrowers. This is the best time to cancel it. The best time. Make this your big win, or else you're going to get absolutely destroyed in the midterms. You're going to lose Congress, and you're going to lose to Donald Trump in 2024. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. One more quote from Abrams. She says, "The reality is that we do not even need the memo. The president already has the legal authority to cancel student debt, and experts from across the country, including Harvard Law, agree. We do not need to wait for this piece of paper to fight for debt cancellation. We are doubling our efforts to mobilize millions of student loan borrowers, parents, and allies in support of debt cancellation." I don't think it's going to help, as I said, honestly. It's a good effort, and we certainly should try, but I don't think the Biden administration is going to really change on anything. They know what's going on, but of course, their entire thing is, let's not do anything for the American people And when we lose, we'll do what we always do and blame progressives. Biden is too conservative, too concerned about donors, and is an absolute disappointment. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and share with your friends. You can subscribe and help out the channel by becoming a patron. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf, or you can become a channel member as well by hitting the join button below.